Hello beautiful, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Mawahib. Today's video I want to burn test the A05 Superior Coconut Soy from London Luxury Supplies. I did make these candles with you last week. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it down below. But without further ado, let's just burn test these babies. Good evening everyone. I am ready to burn test my A05 candles. This is the Tonka and Tobacco Flower, and this is TB14 and TB12. I'm gonna go ahead and turn these babies on, and I'm really excited to see how the A05 will burn. There we go. And for the woodwick candle that you guys can see here, I'm going to burn that in my sister's bedroom, but I want to show you guys how I'm going to turn this candle on. Oh my god, can't wait for this woodwick candle. The crackle is just insane. I'm looking forward to see how that works out with my 20 centiliter, and this is Baltic and Amber Clove. I'm gonna move that to my sister's bedroom and I'll check in with you guys in an hour. Here's for the first hour burn. The candle here, the flame has got a bit of a flicker. This is TB12 by the way. It does tend to flicker sometimes, so I do need to keep a close eye on how the flame is behaving. In terms of how the candle is burning, it's not burning evenly. If you guys can see here, it's burning this side first, and then it might burn this side after. I'm hoping my candle doesn't tunnel, but I won't know until probably the third or fourth hour burn. If it does leave some wax on the corners of the jar, it tends to melt as the candle gets hotter. But this is it for now, and there's no mushrooming on my wick as well, which is great. Move on to TB14. The flame height is a little bit higher than TB12. If you guys can see the height difference there. TB14 is a little bit higher, but it's not so high where I feel like it's a dangerous flame, but it is a high flame. The candle is burning a lot more evenly, and I also do have a slight flicker or a dance on my flame, but I think TB14 may be doing a little bit better than TB12, but again I do have to keep a close eye on it. I feel like with the flickering on the first hour burn, it's worrying me a little bit. In terms of a hot throw, you guys, I can't smell it as well as I would like to. If I was to rate it out of 10, I think my hot throw is about a 5 out of 10 right now, but I'll leave it for another hour and test the hot throw. Let's go and move on to the second room. Here is the cotton wick candle. I think it's burning a bit too fast, you guys. I shouldn't be almost reaching a melt point on the first hour burn, so I do think that the wick is too big. And the wick that I'm using is a 13 millimeters times 15 centimeters, so I definitely think I might need to wick down for that one. In terms of the glass adhesion, actually, you guys, it's doing really well. As you guys can see here, no pullaways. This is 10 days after I've made the candles. Again, with the hot throw, you guys, I can't really smell it at all for this one. But again, I'll give it another hour and then I'll see how the hot throw does. The flame height on the candle looks pretty good, actually. I don't have to worry about mushrooming or anything like that, but it looks pretty nice and therapeutic. And here's for the second hour burn. Let's start with TB12. I started to get some mushrooming, as you guys can see here on the side, and you know how I feel about mushrooming on my first 2 hour burns. It's just gonna keep getting bigger, you guys, as my candle gets hotter. There is flickering on my candle flame, as you guys saw there. It is steady the majority of the time, but it does flicker at times, as you guys saw here, and then it's doing it again now. In terms of the way it's burning, it's doing really well so far. I still haven't reached a full melt pool. I think the TB12 could be a little bit too small for my candle jar. The TB wicks have worked really well in the past few burn test video that I've done, but that's okay. It won't work with every soy and coconut wax that I'll use. Let's move on to TB14. I think this is definitely burning a little bit better than TB12. I have a good, nice, steady flame. Again, it does flicker here and there, but so far it is pretty steady. Again, I do have mini mushrooming on there, but it's not a size that I'm worried about. There we go, the flicker just happened. As long as my flicker is not consistent throughout my burn, then it's fine, but if it does happen here and there, I tend to allow it. In terms of the hot throw, you guys, it's smelling a lot better right now, so we're definitely at a good 8 out of 10 worth of a hot throw. And here is the woodwick candle. Honestly, I just love the aesthetic of a woodwick. You just can't go wrong. I can hear the crackling. It's very soft, it's not too loud. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but again, I'm not getting hot throw from this one, you guys. 3rd hour burn, you guys. This is for the TB12. As I assumed, the mushrooming on these wicks will become larger. That's why I don't welcome mushrooming in the first 2 hour burn, because I know by the time I get to my 4th hour burn, these mushroomings will be huge. And the flickering on the candle remains there, as you guys can see here. As for the hot throw, you guys, I mean, it smells, my whole room smells of tonka and tobacco flower, which is lovely for the evening. But yes, this is for TB12. TB14, again, you guys, mushrooming is there. A lot more of a steadier wick than TB12, but again, this is a wax that I haven't tested in 2 to 3 years, so I'm sure there'll be a lot more for me to test with this wax. It takes practice, but it's nice to see how the TB wicks are also working with the A05. Moving on to my lovely woodwick. Even though it's not performing as well as I would like it, I do think the candle, the aesthetic of the candle just looks beautiful. You can't go wrong with a woodwick candle. I just love everything about a woodwick candle. They do tend to be temperamental to test with, but I just love testing with them here and there, just to see how I get along with woodwick candles. I decided to bring this candle into my bedroom because there's no hot throw in it at all, literally. So I wonder why, actually. I think maybe I should have poured my fragrance at maybe a bit of a hotter temperature, but that's all right. Practice makes perfect. This is why we do testing, is for us to see what works best with our candles, which wicks work best, which wood wicks, wicking up and wicking down, and just testing different temperatures to see what works best for our wax, fragrance, candle containers. It's just, I love burning these candles, especially after work, you guys. It just gives me some downtime. It gives me some zen time. It just allows me to just relax and let down my hair a little bit with, you know, filming and making candles and testing them, understanding my candles a little bit better. I've been testing the rapeseed and coconut wax, and honestly the results of the candles are just amazing. And the reason why I have one is because it's an essential oil candle, and as you guys know, the essential oils that I buy are very expensive, so I tend to be very careful when I test essential oils. They just, it smells amazing, it burns amazing. It's just, you guys, the RCX wax is like a hug for my essential oils. I can't wait to test further with it. I do need to wick down though. This is a Stabilo 8. I think the Stabilo 6 works best for my amber jar. But yeah, I just thought I'd put this in this part of the video because I just wanted to share my testing journey with you guys. And look how lovely the rapeseed and coconut looks, you guys. No sinkholes, just beautiful, just beautiful. I love it. It's just amazing. Right, lovelies, as for the last hour burn, nothing much have changed. The mushrooming are still pretty big, and the flickering is still there on the flame for TB and on TB14 as well. It's not flickering right now, but it was a while ago. Oh, there we go. It's come back, and obviously not much to check in with the wood wick. I am getting into double wicking my 30 centiliters. It can be a very tough jar to wick, but anyway, I am going to call it a night and go to sleep. I don't know if you could tell, but I am very sleepy. So let's give these candles a good rest, and I will check in with you guys as well, just to see the resets of the candles. But honestly, it has been lovely burn testing these candles with you, especially after work. It just puts me in a very good zen mood. Well, you guys, tell me how the A05 burn test went and tell me your thoughts and opinions. I felt like I thought it was gonna go a lot better than it did. I kind of had high expectations for it. I want to show you guys a closer look of how the resets are before I forget. This is the reset of the first candle. This is the TB12 wick. As you guys can see here, the resets are actually pretty bad. You guys, I don't mind some resets, but I can't have it look this bad, you guys. I don't like the way this looks. And this is the next one. Again, this doesn't look as bad as the TB12, to be honest. And the woodwick candle does look quite bad, to be quite honest. And this is the reality of burn testing and testing different types of waxes, you guys. When you want to test a wax that you saw on a candle supplier and you thought, oh, that may be interesting, always buy in the tester sample. Don't buy in bulks first time, especially if you're starting out. You don't want to have tons of wax left in your stock area and you end up just not wanting to go with that wax because it's not working with you and you want to try something else. So always test with small samples of the wax that you're interested in testing, and then you go on from there. That's what I did at the beginning, you guys. I bought so much 464 wax. It took me like so long to get rid of it, but it just wasn't working for me. And I know that there's a new updated version of 464 which I am going to get, but we're waiting for payday, you guys. And I want to test and burn test with you guys and make the candles with you guys as usual and see how that works. I'm really intrigued to know. I haven't tested 464 since I made my first few candles at the beginning of my candle making journey. Sorry, I lost track. I'm off topic. Back to A05. I was a little bit gutted that I couldn't get a hot throw from my woodwick, but I love the aesthetic of the woodwick candle. I love how it looks like in my bedroom, especially during winter. I don't have a fireplace in my flat, so it would be so it's always nice to have that element of a crackling wood in the background, and with your TV on or where you're sipping on tea and reading your book. It's just the vibes. It's different with a woodwick candle. Even though I tend to test heavily with cotton wicks, woodwicks are definitely wicks that I want to master in the very near future, and I want to buy more of them. But I did notice, you guys, I feel like the woodwick options have decreased a little bit. I don't see a lot of them anymore on the Candle Shack's website and even the London Luxury Supplies. So the woodwicks that I currently have, I've bought them 3 years ago now, and when I look back at London Luxury Supplies and Candle Shack, the sizings that I have right now are no longer with London Luxury Supplies or Candle Shack, which I find really weird. I will work with what I have and I'll see what works best. But the glass adhesion on this candle is amazing. I think the wax holds really good glass adhesion. This is about 11 days in now and the candle has not moved, which is amazing. So for those of you that are using clear jars, I think A05 holds glass adhesion really well. Rapeseed and coconut is not a wax that holds glass adhesion well, and S41 as well isn't a wax that holds glass adhesion well. But for me, it doesn't really bother me because I can't control the temperature in my house at all times or the temperature outside, so I allow glass adhesion to happen if it wants it to happen. Moving on, TB14 was a good wick for my 30 centiliter, but I did find that both my candles, the TB14 and TB12, were mushrooming at the beginning of my burn test, which I don't tend to welcome, because as my candle burns, that mushrooming will get bigger, and I tend to welcome mushrooming towards the end of my burn cycle, where I will eventually put my candle to rest. This is what I didn't like about the TB with A05. I have so many wick families in my stock. I've got Stabilo, I've got Eco and TCR and CL, so there's definitely a lot more wick families that I can test with the A05. I still have a little bit of wax left over. I'm really intrigued to know how the rest of the wicks will work with the A05. TB12 did leave a thick candle wall around my candle jar, but I do, if I'm assuming correctly, by the time I get to the midway or half of my candle, that wall will eventually melt, because the wick wasn't too small where it's fully tunneling, but I feel like the flame will be strong enough to actually burn that wall of candle wax. But do let me know your thoughts and opinions on my A05 burn test. I know that there's a lot more testing that needs to go with this wax because it's the first time that I'm testing it. from the last time I tested it, which was about 3 years ago now. So yeah, I will test with what I have already, but I don't think it's a wax that I'm going to be rebuying anytime soon, to be honest with you, because I'm pretty happy with my rapeseed and coconut and my S41. I've been enjoying them recently very much, you guys, really enjoying them. I don't want to take too much of your time. I'm going to leave it right here. Please make sure that you click on that subscribe button down below, like, comment and share, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.